Okay, we're here in an undisclosed location, somewhere in the heartline, the omphalos, the belly button of America. It's the day is pleasant. That's all I'll say about that. We're in the seventh week. I'm here with my co-collaborator, my co-integrationist.
Yes.
We're in an external location, so the birds are active here. And we apologize for the sounds, but maybe not. Maybe it's an interesting background, metrics to our teaching, our ritual. We're drinking a black tea from the mountains of Ceylon, Sri Lanka, in the English style. It's strong. It can accommodate a splash of milk. Everything created according to your word. Amen. We're talking about we're into the seventh week of the 50 gates toward our goal is transformation. On the road to receiving our book, our durable wisdom, the 50th day. We're in the seventh week.
Yeah, this year the
Speakers.
The timing of things has been interesting. So Shavuot will be Saturday night, next day Shabbat. I think when these holidays, these holy days fall on in and around the Shabbat, as it has been this year, I think it adds a level of depth. We get to have Shabbat before the gates open completely.
Yeah.
We've had that all year with Passover, with the holidays.
Yeah.
Around Shabbat. So,
Also want to remind you we have we have a concert on Thursday night at 7:30.
No. Oh, it's 7:30.
That's what I just saw.
I keep saying 7. Okay, 7:30.
That's what I saw. And we're going to, it'll be live and streamed. It's on these sites, how to get there, how to register. We'll be performing and talking about material from the Duke of Psalms. Our last project that gestated music and story and kinds of interesting things. And now we're in the Song of Songs gestating some other material, new material, that was also a surprise, equally surprising. Malkhut, the seventh week, the spigot, we call it the spigot, the funnel through which the energy, the divine energy makes its way. If it does make its way, that's the pathway for it. It makes its way through Malkhut. We also call Malkhut Shekhinah, Kala. So we get an extra measure, yeah. We get the extra measure of Shekhinah, Kala, Malkhut towards the end of our journey, towards the peak of our journey. Ya'arev na Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha b'finu ובפי עמך בית ישראל ונחיה. אנחנו וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל, כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה. ברוך אתה אדוני המלמד תורה לעם ישראל. Amen. Oh God, pause. Make the words of your teaching pleasant on our lips, the lips of all of those that come into our circles or come into our screens, so that we might spend a time in learning for the gates of understanding that opens for us through learning for its own sake and for the bonus conventicle of sacred intention that all learning creates with its participants. Blessed are you who teaches in this fashion. Amen. Amen, 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 amen. Excuse me. Allergens in the air here in our undisclosed location. You'll have to excuse me. So we finished the 8 chapters of we've gone through the 8 chapters of the Song of Songs as we intended to do. So this week we're giving over to a kind of a review and special subjects. What comes up comes up. Spend the time with that and the ritual that we've evolved. Not only that, we do our teachings and our prayers for greater intentionality and depth and respect, acknowledging the difficulties of the time in which we sit, the places here that are so fraught.
Well, it's Memorial Day, too. You know, it's
It's Memorial Day here in the United States.
the day we give over to remembering, people who sacrificed
Yeah,
their lives, willingly or not, to principles.
yeah.
The hope of democracy. Soldiers didn't die in vain. At least we learned something from.
Yeah. A strange and beautiful, complex time. We talk about a lot through a Song of Songs, the place of, in the life of a human being, that this material represents in a macro sense, building on the tradition that King Solomon was associated with 3 texts in our tradition. This one, Ecclesiastes and Proverbs, and the richness of the inquiry into which text pertains to which part of one's life recurs for us.
Yeah.
We had like to think about the Song of Songs as just kind of a scrim, the physical onto the spiritual, or depending on your place, the spiritual is scrim on revealing or concealing the physical. It's the other thing about dual realities like this: do they reveal or do they conceal? Especially when they are translucent. My, my feeling My feeling was that in the Song of Songs is the most translucent of texts that we have. Translucent when the physical and the spiritual are engaged each other in such a way that they both express. Does it express through the scrim of the spiritual or through the scrim of the physical? Is it concealing or is it revealing? Also an interesting question. And what's come up in our other teachings was the presence of the Shulamite woman that became such a strong image for some of the folks that have studied with us, keep mentioning to us in other sessions that we've done. What a guiding image that was for many of the people who have joined us on this trip.
So, thinking about who she is, it's only in chapter 7, verse 1, that such a beautiful verse. Shuvi, Shuvi. That's the Hashulamite. Shuvi, Shuvi repeats, right? Turn, dance, dance, spin, spin, return, O Shulamite. Otherwise, it's Shunammite. And so there's, this is the only place she's Shulamite. And I mean, everybody, all the commentators struggle. Is she really, why is she Shulamite here? Is it because of her connection with Shlomo? Is she of Shlomo now for a moment in that royal palace? Is she Shlomo's? Or, because the Shunammite is often connected with David's concubine, Avishag, who was from Shunem. And, she was much younger than David. So she was in the generation of Shlomo, his son. And we know that his sons lusted after her. One of the sons wanted her. And, so there's this play of who is she really? So there's the actual who is she? Is she from Jerusalem? Is she from Shulem? Is she a Jerusalemite? Or is she from Shunem, which is a little bit further north, an ancient village, Shunem.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another village called Shulam that wasn't Jerusalem. So there's all these questions, mystery. Of course, there's mystery around her.
Mm-hmm.
She's mysterious.
Yeah.
It's interesting because she is and she isn't. It's what you said. She's right out there. We know her. She doesn't play games. She's right there, present for us to know her desires, to know what she wants, to know who she is. And there is all this mystery around her now of who is she really. So it's both.
It's good.
It's both.
There's a lot of it's an elastic text.
Yeah.
Most people explain that by saying, well, it's a compilation of this and that and this and that. And that's true. I'm sure that's true. And also, there's an integrity in the text as well. Like when we came to the end of the text, for example, I'm delighted by the way it ends. A lot of the commentators are not delighted by the way it ends. I think it ends in such a profound, beautiful way with this image that appears several times about the hill, the mountain of spices. I love that the way it ends.
Wonderful.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
I just think it's a tremendous ending.
Yeah. Leaving us wondering, will there be more love? The best love stories, right, have anticipation at the end. And this love story, this love poem, it definitely leaves us with, the sunbeam, right?
Yeah. The hill of spices.
Mountain
of spices.
That draw more into the world,
I
right?
love it.
Draw more into the world. And that's who she is. She is the one that draws truth.
Yeah, and I told
beauty,
you,
right, into the world, like the spices do.
I think I was telling you about this video of it in another one of my sessions. A guy brought to the session of interviewing a Zen Roshi, and he gives over a little story, a little poem about drink a cup of a tea's keepsake. And somebody says, well, what is that? What do you mean by drink a cup of the tea? What does that signify? And he stops them. He says, let it speak. Let the image, and as if to say, let the image speak to you. Drink a cup of the tea. And I feel that way with that end image too, the mountain of spices. About some images, you can say too much and let it speak, or let it speak for a while. Then discuss it, but let it speak for a while.
You know, it's interesting because look at that verse 7:1. The only place that Shulamite, right? That Shulamite
With the lamed.
with the lamed instead of Shuna, from Shunem, Shula, Shulamite. It's used twice in this verse 7:1, and it's kind of like that, because one way you can interpret this is, what do you see in this? What do you see in this woman? She's a peasant maiden. Why are you so enamored with her? Isn't it just the tea? Yeah, it's just the tea, and the tea is enough. She is, it doesn't matter that she's not a princess. Marsha Falk interprets her as princess.
Mm.
But here clearly, and maybe not to say royalty there, but that this kind of peasant maiden is turning the world upside down here.
Mm.
It's just tea, and it's just tea. She's
take just out of that sentence.
Exactly, that's the point.
It's tea. Yeah.
It's the Shulamite.
There's that blue jay.
I know.
She's chased everybody away.
I know she'll do that. She's so big. Right.
It's big. How big it is.
Look at that. Look at that bold blackbird that whoop chased it away. The blue jays.
So, yeah. Drink a cup of the tea. The small things that you will discuss will open onto large things when you drink a cup of the tea.
And and it is also more than that. It's how you drink the cup of tea. Right?
Yes.
It's the tea ceremony. It's the journey that this Shulamite has taken us on. She's taken us on a journey from the hills of where she had to tend to the flocks of her brothers, to the palace where she is seen as this, spectacular beauty force, and finds her voice and returns to the pasture, claiming her own wall again. I am my wall. I keep chase not for you and not for your rules, but for me, because it's my choice. This is what I do. If I want to be a door, I'll be a door. If I want to be a wall, I'll be a wall. It's up to me.
Yeah.
She claims herself, and that's why the journey through this, whether it was intentional or not, has really definitely captured me and my love for her, my admiration for her, and that she ends with understanding that there's nothing for sure, and that she, the only thing for sure is her choice. Her love, certainly, for her lover in that moment, but you never know. So she returns to her hills, her pastures, where she can shuvy, where she can dance and find the things that nourish her choice. Her choice.
Let us make the prayers for healing.
And doesn't mean she has to be alone, by the way. She can still be her own person.
By the way.
Yeah. So we do need a healing prayer today.
Yeah.
A lot of people grieving today. thinking about, have we ever known a time without war?
Yeah, it's a hard time.
It's enough. It's enough
Sometimes
already.
it's just squeezed.
It's enough already.
We thought we were squeezed during the Psalms teachings. We feel similarly squeezed now.
So we're going to keep taking a deep dive into who this Shulamite is.
The squeeze is on, so to speak. Oh, no.
So, in honor of this Memorial Day,
I didn't read the Omer.
mm,
Let's do the Omer and then we'll go
all
into
right, so 7th week, Gevura, restraint, and Malkhut. That's a perfect thing, I think, for Memorial Day.
Yeah. The week of Malkhut and interior notion. When what we learn becomes what we do, the wisdom expressed in our walk in the world. The energy as imagined in our feet, halachti. The week of Malkhut, body wisdom, complete, expressing through our feet, walking wisdom, local, and how we walk in the world, holding breath for living truth. Breathe deep through the nose, exhale, and be what you've learned as evidence through your walk in the world. Today, Gevura, don't walk too fast. Wisdom becoming a spiritual experience. Wisdom as it becomes a spiritual experience. What do you think of that?
Really good one.
Here's the key. Chesed, love, first triad. Chesed, love, Gevura, restraint, Tiferet, beauty. Second triad. Netzach. You think you know. Hod. You do not know. Yesod, foundation in the body. And then Malkhut, the spigot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher קידשנו מצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר. היום 44 יום שהם 6 שבועות ו2 ימים לעומר. Today is 44, day 44 of the Omer, which is 6 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. Wow. Bless our president, our vice president, our mayor, and all their noble retinue. Let's read this one. The counting of the Omer is taught by the poets of rock and roll and Ben Bagbag. Chesed, loving kindness overflowing. With Gevura, love not fade away. The third pole, beauty, Tiferet, bright, dark, and deep. Netzach feels like we've been here before, looking for soul in Hod. With Yesod, a pleasure ground, look from both sides now. Malkhut, inward and quiet, God, you jigsaw timer. With Malkhut, the spigot opens, turn it. Why are we counting threes during the Omer? Look ahead. What was missing last week may appear this week. Or together they may make a unity that will be expressed next week. 3 weeks. Last week, this week, next week. That's why we think in threes during the Omer. And for this piece that we brought out to pray for healing, before we get to the prayer. When memory becomes, when memory becomes blessing. when memory becomes blessing. It may not be immediate. A stage of grief, at first memory hurting. After a time, I have heard memories become blessings. Sit down with your beloveds, past and present. Let time wash you. A fountain of cleanse. Your memories may become blessings one day. For now, pay attention. Be kind to yourself. Be more kind to others. Find your silence. Wait. Okay. What do you say? I think we should close now with a prayer. What do you say, Susan? Huh? Okay. For the healing of the spirit and the healing of the body. Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf. For those we know, for those we don't know. On my right, the angel Michael. On my left, the angel Gabriel. In front of me, the angel Uriel. Behind me, Raphael. Above my head, Shekhinah there. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim, blessed are you, great healer. Amen.
Amen. Now moving right along through the Omer.
Thanks for joining us.
This Memorial Day, 2022. And we'll be back tomorrow morning.
Keep it.
Have a great day. Enjoy the day.